By Coding University, training humans to train themselves. Today I want to talk about the blah nothings. Okay, now we've talked about them a little bit already, but we've talked first about there's sort of three different types, right? If there's something you enjoy doing, it's pleasurable, you tend to repeatedly do it. If it's something you don't like to do or hurts you or something like that, you tend to avoid it. But we can train ourselves such that if it leads someplace, like the weightlifters, your arms hurt, whatever, it burns, and like that, we can train ourselves to make that burn pleasurable. Right, so we can make something hard or hurting pleasurable by training. Okay, and weightlifters, they push to get to the burn. And what hurts the most? Oh, you've done it. So we can train that as well. And so, like or don't like, but what about when there's nothing there? And that's what I want to talk about today. That's really where a lot of stuff is, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. In fact, a lot about it. So first of all, I have hip problems. What can I say? And one of my son, did the investigation, started doing this, and got all sorts of equipment and stuff. But then all of a sudden he started. He says, it's all about the muscles, Dad. Okay, so you have to think, well, the hips, right? It's got muscles, right? He says, so first thing he had me do is he had me sitting on my hands. He says, okay, now squeeze one cheek, one of your butt cheeks, and then the other cheek. And I was like, okay, right? And I says, gotta pay attention to that, kid. Sometimes it's hard. First squeeze one, now squeeze the other. Feel one, then the other. And then he told me about another muscle and another muscle, and I was like, oh, this is a little crazy. But see, this was all that stuff that I didn't even know existed. Okay, now just to get to the reference we're going for, and we'll get that at the end here. Remember, I showed my wife, that if you're going to learn to Vico juice, basically you look at a piece of paper, and all of a sudden you understand, and you get to know what's going on. She says, well, I can see all the written stuff there, but it doesn't mean anything. It's all blah nothing. Okay, that's what I want you to get at. See, my hips are sort of that blah nothing. It's just like, aren't they just hips? I mean, you just walk the way you walk, you hip the way you hip, so to speak. And it was like, but then I watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and it's like, here are these guys doing, to me, it was just amazing. Here are these guys doing these stretching positions. Okay, now, so they take you into a stretching position. Now, these are sort of extreme for real athletes, okay, positions. So these are pretty amazing positions. I go, whoa, that's a pretty good stretch there, and they talk about, alignment. They talk about, strength. They talk about all sorts of things. And, here they are doing these positions. But the biggest thing I want you to really get from it is, there was no rush about this. They were into this. They were enjoying it, and they would take you into So here's an instructor and a student, so to speak, and the instructor would take the student into this position, and he'd say, "Okay, move forward, move back, move down, up, right. Okay, you feel that? You feel it? Okay, that's the position. That's what we're looking for, right?" And he said, "Okay, you got it? You got it. Okay, and then they'd show him the position. Then he'd go to another stretching position, and he would do the same thing. So, okay, this, that, stuff like that, and there's a position, and you think, that's it. That's the position. Okay, now you got to sort of get this a little bit. Okay, so remember we talked about toothpaste. Toothpaste is just simply washing your mouth out with soap, and it prevents cavities. Okay, sounds like a great idea. But when toothpaste first started, it didn't catch on. It wasn't until Colgate accidentally in their formulation had a minty taste. Now that was an accident apparently, but they used it, okay? And the way they advertised it was, when you feel that minty taste, whoa, see there, now we have a trigger. See, now we have a trigger. Remember the guy, feel that? It's a trigger. Okay, so we're going for that. When you get that trigger, okay, so when you feel that minty flavor, you get to feel your mouth is clean. and it is so wonderfully spring clean. You'll feel it spring clean, and your teeth are shining and glittering, such that they sparkle, and the people out there see it just like ding. There's this little thing like that. So there's the triggers, minty flavor, and all of a sudden you get to feel wonderful. So now you go, God, whoa, this is cool. I get to feel wonderful just by brushing my teeth. Oh yeah, and I get to have my clean mouth too, and I don't get cavities and stuff like that. See, just not getting cavities is like, blah. Okay, so they figure that out. So now we got a trigger, we got a wonderful feeling. We're going to get this happening, and all of a sudden, toothpaste takes off. Okay, all right. Well, same thing here. You got this. The guy gets into this. Wow, that's the position, right? Okay, now let me just give you another example. We're going to do a couple examples here. All right. When I was in college, I'm not a good singer, but I was in chorus, and we'd be doing stuff. But the conductor would all of a sudden stop and say, okay, a little higher, a little lower, a little louder, a little softer, whatever. Yeah, there it is. That's it. We'd practice again. There it is. Practice again. There it is. And we just and each time we're like, yeah, I got it. And we get to have that little wonderful approval from the conductor going through my, yeah, we did it. And so we would shoot for that, right? Okay, getting right to that perfect spot. So getting to that perfect spot, just like the hip, perfect spot. There it is. And we do that, right? Okay, we do it. So now. My alarm at 11:55, excuse me. We're supposed to be doing something probably. Okay, so trigger and response. Okay, so this is the key. We get triggered by the mint, wonderful feeling. We get hit that wonderful note or loudness, whatever the conductor wants, we get that wonderful feeling. So trigger, response. Okay, so we go for things like that. Okay, and if you get in that right position for stretching, you get that wonderful response. So these guys, now this is what was even more amazing. Now, first of all, and the key to the other thing is they're not rushed. They really enjoy having that, feel that stretch, whatever. Okay, but then what they did, is that they trained another position, and they got to that, and then another position, and then another. Then what they did is they combined them. Okay, and they did this little routine of went from one stretching position to another stretching position to another stretching position to another stretching position, and then repeated it again and repeated it again, and it was amazing. But they're boom, boom, boom. It was like a little machine, boom, boom, because they were going for that pleasure of each one of those spots. Okay, and then what was really amazing is at the end of the video, the instructor and the students were doing it together. It was like two little wind-up toys that were synchronized. And it was perfect. I mean, it was amazing. All right, so you got to sort of get this, is that here was, these hip stretches, and these guys were going for these very special stretches, and it was just, to me, it was like my wife with the look at the page, blah, nothing, right? Okay, now, we got to give more examples here. So first of all, if you look at recipes, okay, now, to me, I look at a recipe, and the best I get is their ingredients and things to do. Okay, whatever. But if you look at a cook or a mom that has a special recipe, it isn't. You look at it and you go, oh no, this ingredient is critical here. This does this, and this pops. Things pop. These aren't just ingredients. These are ingredients, and it isn't just doing things. It's the way you get it to a certain fluff. You get it to you fold it in a certain way. You do this in a certain way. And it's like all those things are so critical. And it's like you add just the right amount of this compared to this amount of that. And it's the ratio and the way and the blend. And all those things go from my blah nothing to very special ways where these people get rewarded because they did it the right way. And the way that these hip guys did it is they said, you play around with it. You feel that? A little forward, a little back. You feel it? Oh, there it is. And they play around to feel it and find it. Okay, now I really want you to get that play around and feel it and find it, because that's the way it happens. Okay, there's no rush. We're playing around. We're going to feel it. We're going to find it, and then we're going to enjoy it. Okay, when we get it. All right, does that make sense? Okay, so now one other thing here. Oh, I mean, I've got to share this one here. When I was in elementary school, we learned long division, and long division, I don't know. I got into it. What can I say? I mean, I would be sitting in there and it's like, oh, there, and I would, just like the ingredients for recipe, I'd figure out how to do it, and he would like, boom, there it is, and I couldn't get enough long division. I was begging for more problems because it's like boom, 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 boom. I was like the hip guys. They were. They found the position and like there it is. Then from the next one to the next one, it's like this little machine turning out long division. The whole point is that these can be mental machines, or they can be physical machines, or some combination of them that does different things. So the key is just like in Vicoding, we're going to look at the blah nothing page, and we're going to start going through these exercises. Now these exercises are not to be done. They're to be enjoyed. I don't know if you get that. Okay, now we're going to try to do the example here real quick. First of all, there is this story of the student and the master. Okay, and the students, it's all about getting. How soon will I be a master? We're all concerned. When will I be reading or Vicoding at 2,000 words a minute? Right? Okay, that's the goal, right? We all want to get to the end. I'll do the work. Do the exercises to get there. But this is what I want you to get. So here's a student asking, how long will it take? The master says, well, if you try pretty hard, it'll take you about a year. And the student goes, about a year. What if I try twice as much? And the master says, about 5 years. Students are shocked. What if I try really, really hard, even harder than that? Probably about 10 years. See, it's when you start forcing and just doing and not getting into and finding that perfect place and enjoying it, then it takes longer and longer and longer. So what you want to understand is you don't want, when we do these mental exercises in the flip books, in the structural book, is it's first is conscious effort, and remember we want to consciously enjoy it so much that the subconscious gets jealous and wants to take over. But it really should be so conscious that you don't even want to give it up to the subconscious. You want to do it yourself, like I did with my long division. And then we're going to start combining them and playing with them, having more fun with it, getting more juice out of them. And it's like, I hope you guys get that a little bit. See, these aren't exercises to do; they're exercises to enjoy. Right? We first, that one's singular. That was, mentally you see that. It's like you want to. Oh, that's it. When you get it, you want to get that juice. When you see it's far away, it's close, it's referenced or whatever. You want to get that, and then it's all the different combinations in the house. Some of these things are going to be easier for you than others to get juice to. Oh, you could pop. Oh, there you can. Like when I say on the table, that might pop to you real quick. When you see those words, but when you see that over there, you may not have really paid much attention to it, maybe at some point, but now you are, and now you got to do the reference or whatever. The whole point is get in and enjoy the exercises and enjoy them, then combine them, then see how they combine them, and then start to see how boom they pop together. Okay, so the key point here is we're trying to get this page of written material that, as to my wife says, doesn't mean nothing, to start meaning something, you start seeing structure to it. You start seeing these little things pop out at you, because now they exist because they're juicy, because they give you reward, and so they pop, and it's just like you can't stop it. Okay, you can't stop it. Okay, Vicoding University, training humans to train themselves. Okay.